The other question I wanted to ask about Little Rock was the desegregation of Central High School is a tremendously emotional issue. Was it hard for reporters to not get emotionally involved in on one side or the other? Was it hard to check people's bias or to want to step into the story in some way?
Yeah, so we not particularly hard. It certainly did present problems because a lot of people thought we were enemies of the state and treated us that way. But I think that we felt that the way to cover this is to treat everybody fairly, even though they were espousing a point of view that we personally did not accept at all, but to report them accurately and fairly. And a leading segregationist is Amos Guthridge, who was the lawyer for the Citizens Council, which has been called the Klan in suits. So they were a bit upscale from the people who wore the sheets, but they were dead-end segregation. And Amos was an amiable person personally, but he would make public statements that were, of course, crazy and wild, and we would take them all down. And at the end, he said, when I was covering one day, I just know that tomorrow morning when I read what I have just told you, that it will be distorted in the Arkansas Gazette. So I wrote that down too, and was putting my notebook away, and the session was over, and he put his arm on my shoulder and said that, Gene, I know you're going to write it straight. You're an honest reporter, but Harry Ashmore will change everything you wrote. And I knew that Harry never did that. But that's the way it worked out. Actually, I think that Amos did get a fair shake in the Gazette. But I will tell an occasion where Harry did interfere, and one that would appall us today, in that showdown election where the last Saturday night, before the election on Tuesday, the people who were managing the campaign for the moderates sent over a news release that was simply recapping a whole lot of things we'd already reported. And I was sitting in as assistant city editor that day for the Sunday paper. And I followed the guidance of the city editor, who was my mentor, that we look at all the news releases. Very often they're not very newsworthy, but sometimes they are, and we check it out, and if there's something there, we will then report it out. Well, I looked over this and following my instructions. I found nothing there, and I spiked it. And there literally was a spike that you put things on you're not going to use. That Saturday night, we were head-to-head the only time of the week with the Democrat, which is the afternoon paper weekdays, and we were the morning. But both of us had Sunday papers. So about 10:30, both first editions were out, and their paper would come to our newsroom, and we would look it over and see if they had anything we didn't and everything. And Harry Ashmore was there to look at the Democrat, and the lead story in the Democrat was word for word this news release that I had spiked. And he said, "Where is ours?" And I said, "Harry, there was nothing new in it. Read the story. There's nothing new there." He said, "But we can't have that. These are our people. And we're, the Democrat who is on the other side is running their stuff, leading the paper with it, and we don't have anything." And I said, "I guess I better find that news release." And so I went to look for the news release, but the janitors had come through and had taken all the stuff off the spike, and the trash baskets were empty. And I said, "Harry, I don't have it anymore." And he said, "It's all right, I'll take care of it." And so he took scissors and clipped the story out of the Democrat and pasted it up, and we sent it to the composer, and that was our story for the main editions. And that wouldn't happen today.
Let's hope not. So you went from the Gazette to the New York Times, yes? Or was
Yes,
there something else intervening? Very different place.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
Sure.